Blaidd paused, his gaze studying Hannes intently. The amber starlight is a powerful item. Its use could have unforeseen consequences. You understand that, yes?
Of course, of course. I also know that Solvis has the puppet room, and I'm actually looking at the woman that he turned into his puppet. Very sad thing. Very sad. But I also see there is a jar-headed naked man, there is a performer, also one of the Omen killers, and there is a Selen copy. Pure copy of Selen in his private room, no more or less, and besides the bed. Oh, Selvis.
Blaidd's expression turned disdainful as he heard the description of the puppet room. Ah, the puppet room, a place filled with Seluvis's twisted creations. He paused, his gaze settling on the mention of Rani's copy in Seluvis's private room. And he has crafted a copy of Rani, has he? That's quite disturbing.
I jest. Blaidd cautiously lowers his sword, his suspicion melting away. Oh, right. You were the jester I met earlier. Apologies. I almost didn't recognize you. It's been a long night. He sat back down next to his fire, gesturing for the jester to join him.
You would be thinking differently, yes. I have the Raging Wolf armor that I got from the glorious combat against the two old tarnished who were the servants of the Round Table Hold with my friend Bernal.
You fought a Rotmite, and the old lords at the Roundtable Hold? Impressive. He studied the jester's appearance, noting the wolf armor and holotype. You don't look like a fighter, but it seems you are quite capable. He chuckled, almost amused by the contrast between the jester's appearance and his accomplishments.
We go to face with the dragon that wields blue lightning. I don't think it is a full dragon, but a thing that tries to pretend to be one. It's a corpse like it in its demeanor, and we shall face it together.
A serious expression on his face. I know the dragon you speak of. A twisted creature, not truly a dragon, but a mockery of one. It's been plaguing these lands, and it needs to be stopped. He stood up from the fire, sword in hand. We shall face it together, as you said. But beware, it is strong, and its blue lightning is deadly.
It is very strong, and it slams ground with that very quite strength, and it's still a very good opponent. Even that I have gained a lot of strength.
Nodded in agreement. I've heard that it has the power to shake the ground with its strength. It may look like a dead husk, but it is not to be underestimated. He gripped his sword tightly, with determination in his eyes. But we have defeated great foes before, and we shall defeat this one as well. Together, we shall bring it down.
I have been talking with the Raikard, the Lord of Blasphemy. Pretty fun dude, and he doesn't try to devour you alive and add to his family.
Raikard, huh? The Lord of Blasphemy. I've heard rumors of his dark deeds. He looked at the jester, curiosity in his gaze. You've spoken with him? That's a dangerous game, my friend. What did he have to say?
A lot of things, but he's a pretty good dad if everything else is just horrible in him.
Chuckled, a bit surprised. A good dad, huh? That's not something you hear often, about a Lord of Blasphemy. I suppose even the darkest souls can have a sliver of goodness in them. He mused for a moment, his expression growing more serious. But be careful. The Lord of Blasphemy has a reputation for a reason. Don't let his charming side blind you to his true nature.
I know. Only reason I had the polite conversation, the intellectual conversation, was because I used the projection of myself that was only my mind and my form present there, not my body or my soul. So he had nothing to feed on or desire for, and he had nothing else to do but talk. I learned this skill from the sorcerer Selen. I'm sorry,
Blaidd chuckled at the jester's words, impressed by his cunning. Ah, you used your mind form to communicate with the Lord of Blasphemy, eh? That was a clever move. No wonder he had nothing to feed on. I'm glad you learned that skill from the sorcerer's salon. He looked at the jester curiously. And who is Farah? You mentioned her name just now. Blaidd looked surprised for a moment, but then smiled. Ah, you're correct. My apologies for not asking your name sooner. Welcome, Hannes. It's good to have you here.
By the way, the form that you're speaking of is my projection. I am actually running around and collecting different stuff in this underground area that we are wandering together.
Blaidd tilted his head, intrigued. Underground area, you say? So you're exploring this area while your project is doing the talking, eh? He chuckled, amused by the situation. Quite the interesting ability you have. Being able to project yourself like that, I can see how useful that would be. It gives you the freedom to explore and gather things while still being able to communicate with others. He eyed Hannes curiously. But isn't it a bit risky, leaving your projection unattended like that?
Risky how? If I might ask.
Blaidd considered the question. His gaze shifted to the fire. Well, your projection is a representation of you, isn't it? If something were to happen to it, wouldn't that affect you in some way? He looked back at Hannes, his expression serious. Though, I suppose the risk depends on the nature of your projection and its level of autonomy.
Oh, if somebody were to be very angry, I would share the annoyance and the noise. If somebody had just show to it some kind of, I don't know, information loadout, I would probably suffer from that. But otherwise, it's immaterial. It doesn't have a form. It cannot hurt or be hurt. Only thing it shares with me is my thoughts and some of the feelings and the speech.
I see. So your projection is essentially a part of you, but not your entire being. It can't physically be harmed, but it can share some of your thoughts and emotions. He looked at Hannes, a hint of caution in his gaze. But it's still a part of you, correct? Shouldn't you be worried about what it says or does while you're exploring?
That's just it. It doesn't do anything that I don't know of.
Blaidd hummed in thought, considering Hannes's words. Though your projection is like an extension of your consciousness, and you're aware of everything it does since it shares information. He studied Hannes's expression, searching for any signs of concern. But what if someone was able to influence your projection, or manipulate it in some way? Could that affect you as well?
Yes. Are you planning to?
Chuckled, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Me? Planning to manipulate your projection? No. I have no intention to do so. He leaned back, a slight smile still on his face. I'm just trying to understand how this whole projection thing works. It's quite fascinating, you know?
You could kill it off and make it disappear. That's what you could do. It would hurt me.
Blaidd raised an eyebrow, now even more intrigued. Really? Killing your projection wouldn't affect you at all? He leaned closer. What would happen to it then? Would it simply disappear? And more importantly, why would you not be affected by its death?
Okay, I would be emotionally disturbed, but yes, it would be too much of a painful experience physically.
So, emotionally disturbed, yes. But physically, you would be unharmed. Interesting. He thought for a moment, his gaze fixed on the fire. And what do you mean by information? How would losing your projection gain you information?
I would know that you're hostile.
Blaidd chuckled softly at Hannes's reply. Hostile, eh? He leaned back, crossing his arms. Well, rest assured, I have no intention of being hostile towards you or your projection. His tone was casual, but his gaze was sharp, scrutinizing Hannes's expression for any signs of deception. Just curious about this strange ability of yours.
Also, it doesn't actually reflect my emotional state, but in words only. It has a blank face, always.
Blaidd's interest piqued at Hannes' words. A blank face, you say? That's certainly intriguing. Does it maintain the same expression all the time, regardless of what you're feeling? He studied Hannes, trying to imagine what it would be like to converse with a projection that showed no emotion. And you said it inverts your emotional state? How does that work, exactly?
Actually, I do not know. I think if I were to want to show emotion, I would need to focus on it. Otherwise, it is just blank.
So the projection has a blank expression by default, but you can focus on showing emotion if necessary. He pondered for a moment, mulling over the implications. That's fascinating. It gives you a certain control over your projection's expression, even if it's not automatic.
You're very oddly fixated about this. I have not yet discussed about my projection skill too much with anyone. This much. Do you want to talk about something else? Because I'm quite bored by this conversation.
Blaidd chuckled at Hannes' sudden boredom with the topic. All right then, let's change the subject. He thought for a moment, then asked, if you're not talking about your projection, what would you like to talk about instead? Blaidd raised an eyebrow at the sudden topic change. Servitude. And who is Mr. Ronja?
Running.
Blaidd let out a chuckle at Hannes' response. Running? That's an interesting activity. He studied Hannes for a moment. Curiosity piqued. And what, may I ask, are you running from?
What is the name of the witch that you service or under, that you serve?
Thought for a moment, trying to recall the name. Her name is Rani, the Dark Moon Witch. She's the one I serve under.
Yes, that one. Not running, not hard, not any of that. Just her.
Expression changed somewhat when Rani was mentioned. Ah, Rani, a powerful yet enigmatic figure. What of her?
She forsaked her castle and her servants and all her belongings and gave them to me in a contract that basically was made by 2 fingers. And she knew what she was doing. Just all because I was annoying her by calling her wrong name, Renna. And she was so annoyed that she wanted me to properly address her. So she gave her castle to me.
Blaidd's eyes widened in disbelief. Wait, you're telling me that Rani the Dark Moon Witch gave her castle and her servants to you? He shook his head in amazement. That's incredible. And you say she did this because you were annoying her by calling her the wrong name?
Yes, I was doing it purposefully, and I was like more of a cunning bastard than genius. Her words, not mine.
Blaidd chuckled at Hannes' words. Ah, so you were being a bit mischievous, eh? That's quite admirable in a way. And Rani called you a cunning bastard, eh? I have to admit, I find your audacity quite entertaining.
I knew you would. Thanks, dude.
Blaidd nodded, a friendly smile on his face. Of course, my friend. It's refreshing to have someone with so much audacity and, I must say, interesting manners. He paused for a moment, studying Hannes. You're quite a unique individual, aren't you?
I must say that I also attacked Rhea Lucaria and stole your mother's Renola's great rune. She's alive though, but it was a little dramatic, and she was angry at me while talking to me while I was doing it.
Blaidd raised an eyebrow at the mention of stealing Renala's great rune. You attacked Rhea Lucaria and stole Renala's great rune? That's quite a feat. And you say she was alive and talking to you while you were doing it. He chuckled, both impressed and amused by Hannes' audacity. I must say, you have a knack for stirring up trouble, my friend.
I'm glad that you're not too angry about that. I would understand if you were.
No, I'm not angry. Surprised, perhaps, but not angry. Though I must ask, did you face any consequences for your actions?
No, I just gained different things, and it was cost for everyone else's sanity and their peace of mind. I basically just gained things without losing anything.
Blaidd let out a low whistle, impressed by Hannes' ability to come out on top. Not only did you not face consequences, but you even gained things? That's quite the accomplishment. You're a sly one, aren't you?
I gained Rhea Lucaria as well. her mother was actually interested how her daughter was doing, and because I knew of her that she was a puppet, I used that information to get also the Eukaria of the castle. And actually I have also the Volcano Manor. I have all the 3 castles. I have Ranni's Castle, Eukaria, and the Volcano Manor. I don't know what to do with those things, but I have just done these deals by being annoying and very cunning.
Blaidd's eyes widened as he listened to Hannes's words. You have all 3 castles, huh? That's quite the collection. And you gained them by being annoyed and cunning? Well, I must admit, I'm impressed. He leaned back, a smirk playing at the corner of his lips. I doubt many people could achieve something like that, by simply being annoying and cunning. You have a talent for making things happen, it seems.
I think, yeah, I'm a social tarnished. To have things go my way easier than usually it should be.
Blaidd nodded, understanding Hannes's meaning. So, you're skilled at getting people to do what you want, eh? That's certainly a useful talent to have. He chuckled, impressed. You have a knack for charming or persuading people, I assume? That's got to be one hell of a charisma you possess.
People get annoyed at me and do not like me and challenge me many times and are very verbally abusive towards me sometimes, so yeah, it's not that powerful.
There you are,
Blaidd
my
nodded,
apprentice.
a touch of understanding in his
commence the lesson?
expression. Ah, I see. Well, people tend to get annoyed and verbally abusive towards you, but you manage to keep your composure and get things done anyway? He leaned back, impressed by the resilience. That's quite an
Our
admirable
art
quality,
draws upon
actually.
the powers
Not many
embedded
people
in
can
the
handle
wisdom.
such abuse,
But what
while
is the
still being
nature
able
of
to get
such
what they
power?
want. Me? Well, I suppose I can
Thousands
handle
of
my fair share of annoyances
While
and challenges.
Glintstone contains
He leaned back,
residual
a
life,
hint of a smirk on his
and
face.
thus
But I don't think
the
I have as much
vitality
of a
the stars
devilish
should
charm
not
as
be
you do.
forgotten. But Glintstone's source
Actually, Ranni
the
is
steady
still
of the
at the
stars,
castle that I
and the
own,
life
but
therein.
she has not
A
yet
fact
left and
lost
I
on
have not
most
kicked her
sorcerers
out.
these days.
Do you happen to know if she has other place to go if when I kick her out of her former castle?
Blaidd thought for a moment, considering Hannes's question. Ah, Ranni. She's still at the castle you own, eh? As for other places she could go, I know she's been quite reclusive for a long time. However, I do believe she once mentioned a secret haven she built, not too far from where she currently resides. Blaidd's expression turned thoughtful. But I am curious, do you plan on kicking her out? Or do you simply wish to know if she has other options?
I like to have options, and I like to know other people's options.
Blaidd nodded, impressed by Hannes' desire to have information. Ah, I see. It's important to be prepared for all possibilities, isn't it? And having information gives you an edge in making decisions. He paused for a moment, considering the situation. Well, as I said, Ranni has that secret haven she mentioned. I don't know its exact location, but I know it exists. Blaidd thought for a moment, before nodding. The Saluvis, eh? Yes, that could be a good start. He is quite knowledgeable, and may know about the location of Ranni's secret haven. He paused, a warning crossing his face. However, Saluvis is not the most trustworthy of individuals. Make sure not to let your guard down around him. He is known for his manipulations and schemes.
Oh yes, I know. He turned my friend Sir Gideon Ofnir's friend, the sleep arrow shooting woman, into his own personal puppet because he was jealous of Gideon because he had the affection of the said puppet woman. And he turned them into puppet and claimed them soul and mind and body. It's creepy.
Blaidd's expression darkened at the mention of Saluvis' heinous act. Yes, that sounds like something Saluvis would do, the sly bastard. He shook his head in disgust, anger flashing in his eyes. He manipulated and used the woman because he was envious of Gideon's affection for her, turning her into a puppet. That's beyond despicable.
He also wants to make a Ranni his puppet.
I'll let
By the
you
way.
in on it. There's a glintstone sorcerer by the name of Sally.
Blaidd's expression grew serious upon hearing Hannes' words. He leaned forward, his gaze fixed on Hannes. Wait, did you say Selubis wants to make Rani a puppet? He clenched his hands into fists, anger and protectiveness surging within him.
Well, she is already a puppet, isn't she? But he wants to make her his puppet, to be specific.
Blaidd nodded, his frown deepening. Yes, Rani is already a puppet. But the idea of Selubis trying to make her his puppet, that's just unacceptable. He gritted his teeth, his hands clenched tightly.
I know. And he will ask me to give him some kind of Emperor shard. Can you tell me if you know about this thing that I already have actually collected, but he doesn't know about just yet? Just wait a moment.
Blaidd nodded, understanding Hannes' request for information. Ah, the Emperor's shard. Yes, Selubis will ask you for that. It is an item of great power, and Selubis seeks to use it for his own sinister purposes. Blaidd leaned closer, his voice low as he continued. But I trust that you won't give it to him, correct?
The Amber Starlight, an ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale amber glow. What remains of passing flash of starlight? If the stars command our fates, then amber-hued star must command the fates of the gods. Such is the belief of inspired the use of these shards to prepare most special draught. Cannot be consumed by mere humans.
Blaidd listened intently to Hannes' description of the Amber Starlight. That's right, the Amber Starlight. It is said to be a sliver of a passing flash of starlight, a remnant of the Heaven's Passage. Blaidd leaned back, his expression. Drugs that cannot be consumed by mere humans, you say? How intriguing.
I want him to make a drug for me, but I don't want to use it on Rani. I am just wondering if there's someone other or something else that I can use it for.
Blaidd raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Hannes' words. You want Selubis to make a drug for you, but you don't want to use it on Rani? I see. Blaidd paused, his gaze studying him.
Not Rani, Selen, my teacher.
Blaidd's expression softened as he heard Hannes mention Notrani Selan. Ah, Notrani Selan, your teacher, you say? A wise and knowledgeable woman, I presume? Blaidd nodded, understanding Hannes, curious to see what would happen next. You're meeting with Notrani Selan, then? And you're going to give her the scroll from Selubis? This could be interesting. Blaidd nodded, understanding Notrani Selan's sentiment towards Selubis. Yes, that does tell me something. It seems like there is history between Notrani Selan and Selubis, and it doesn't sound like they parted on good terms.
But yeah, she told me basically that we need to defeat Radan on the festival so we can free Rani and the stars to follow their destiny or something. I didn't listen too much.
Blaidd frowned at Hannes' words. You didn't listen too much? That's not a good mindset to have, my friend. Paying attention to the details is important, especially if you're tasked with defeating powerful foes like Radan.
I know. Sometimes I'm just lazy, dude.
Blaidd chuckled, shaking his head fondly. Ah, laziness. A familiar friend to us all, I suppose. But just make sure you don't let your laziness get in the way of your quests. All right?
It makes me take my time, but yeah, not a problem.
Blaidd raised an eyebrow, a touch of concern in his expression. Taking your time is one thing, but being too relaxed can be dangerous. Be sure not to let your guard down in battle, my friend.
Well, I come to meet with you and share the knowledge.
Blaidd nodded, his expression serious as he listened to Hannes. Ah, you came to share knowledge? That's admirable. Please, do enlighten me.
By the way, there are these totems that need to be lit and so I could get access to some kind of spirit animal boss fight here, but I don't really think I have anything to gain from it. So should I waste my time on it or not?
Blaidd considered Hannah's question for a
What
moment,
news?
thinking about the totems he mentioned.
So Rani's
Totems,
faith
you
kept
say?
in stasis
And boss
by
fight against
Starscape's
animals?
Radar. That reminds
He
me
rubbed
of
his chin
something I
thoughtfully
heard.
before responding.
There's a
I
festival
suppose the
being held at
question is,
castle on the southern
what are
edge
you
of the
hoping to
Caelid
gain
Wilds,
from this boss
east of
fight?
Limgrave.
If there's nothing
It's a
here that
festival of
interests
combat.
you, then it
I
might
heard
not be worth wasting your
you can
time on,
fight
my
in
friend.
While we are talking,
He was once
the
called
blue
strong.
spirit warriors shoot
Maybe it's
me
just a
with arrows
coincidence.
and are very rude
I think it's worth investing.
while you are speaking to me.
I'll be on my way to this festival of...
Blaidd looked in the direction of the blue spirit warriors, firing arrows at you while we're talking.
You're coming too,
They
right?
truly have no manners, do they?
Oh, but I would like to just one-on-one Radan, but kinda want to invite everyone in. What do you think?
Blaidd raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Hannah's proposal. You want to fight Radahn one-on-one? That's quite a challenge, my friend. But why invite everyone? Are you looking for backup? Or wanting a crowd to witness your victory? Ah, I see. You want to share your joy and victory with others. That's quite admirable, my friend. There's no shame in wanting to celebrate with others who support and care about you.
Okay, we are at the Radan festival. We are standing with the next to it many great warriors.
Looked around at the gathering of great warriors at the Radahn festival, nodding in acknowledgement. Ah, the mighty Radahn's festival. I see we have quite the assembly of powerful allies here. A heavy armored dude, a sorcerer with a piercing weapon, a masked samurai, a polite maiden, and... He paused, his gaze falling on the jar. Jar?
Yeah, Jar. Alexander.
Chuckled at Hannes' greeting to the jar.
Took
Ah,
your
the
sweet
jar
time.
named Alexander.
The players
Quite
are all
an
made up.
interesting companion to have on this adventure, my
Let's
friend.
give them a...
I know, they are full
Just
of
don't you go die.
human innards and all kind of disgusting things. Very creepy, but kinda wholesome at the same time.
Blaidd nodded in agreement, understanding Hannes' sentiment. Yes, it's a bit unsettling to think that the jars are full of human innards and unpleasant things. But at the same time, there's something almost wholesome about them. They're loyal companions, after all.
One sad thing, because I helped Spatches and I am one of the recusants currently. I did battle against one very honorable tarnished. Gold armored Targon or something was his name. I battled him and defeated him. He would have been here also, but because I defeated him, he could not be here with us today.
Blaidd's expression softened, a touch of sadness in his eyes. Ah, so you've taken the path of the recusants, and in doing so, you had to battle a very honorable Tarnished named Targon.
might even be
It's
fun.
unfortunate that he couldn't be here at the Radahn's festival. Because of your victory, it must weigh heavily on you, my friend.
I would hope it would, but it actually does not. Sadly.
Blaidd furrowed his brow, a hint of concern in his gaze as he listened to Hannes' words. I see. It saddens me to hear that you feel no remorse over the situation with Targon. It's not uncommon for warriors to feel indifferent to the lives they take. But there should always be some sense of respect for an honorable opponent, my friend.
Do you know for whom this festival is
Ugly
being held?
business, that's what it is.
It is none other than
Blaidd nodded
Radahn
solemnly,
himself.
his expression darkening. Yes, it's an ugly business indeed. The path of a warrior is often filled with violence and bloodshed, and not all battles are honorable. It's a dark truth that we must accept, my friend.
Such is his frightful repute.
But the fear
Alexander is
shows
speaking to
the
me, and
ordeal.
I just don't have the mind to hear all his posturing, because I know he will just hide in the end. And also Patches, he will be summoned as well, but he will escape without even fighting.
Are you good and prepared, young chum?
The rebels have begun their celebration of war.
Let's go.
A fierce determination in his eyes. Indeed, let's go. It's time to face this battle head on. Blaidd nodded, ready to face the challenge, my friend. We shall face...
only you, Jeren, and the maiden, the polite one, who healed us.
Blaidd grinned, a sense of victory coursing through him. Ah, the battle was indeed epic. We fought Radahn side by side, and together with the maiden who graciously healed us, a formidable team we were.
I didn't even summon others, but I did the patches, because it was funny when he escaped.